You're listening to the International Moving Podcast, your guide to moving to another country, brought to you by SDC International Shipping, LA's finest. An international move is exciting. It's a time to start over, establish a new business maybe, reestablish family ties, or retire where your budget will do more for you. Please enjoy today's episode, and if you have any questions about your international move, give us a call at 888-779-3962. That's 888-779-3962. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Jim for SDC International Shipping. Thanks for joining me for today's podcast episode. You know, we get a lot of questions that come through the website, people asking about how much it's going to cost to move from point A to point B, or asking about specifics and regulations and things of that nature. And the other day I was looking into someone moving from Ventura, California, some of the questions that they had asked, and I thought, let me share some of this information on today's podcast episode. So, as always, thanks for joining me. I usually save this to the end, but I'm going to say it here in the beginning. If you enjoy this podcast and you find it, whether it's informative plus entertaining, a little bit of both, or you're just one of the people who are in that spot right now where you're thinking about or you're getting ready for an international move, please share this episode or the podcast in general with a friend. It really helps us reach people in today's busy, noisy internet landscape that we would probably never otherwise reach. So whether you share it on Facebook, Twitter, which is now called X, or any other social platform, or even just sending a link through email, it really does help us reach an ever-growing audience. So thank you for your time with that. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about visas and work permits, because this is one of the issues, this is one of the questions that came up the other day. Actually, it comes up regularly, and for good reason, because you have to understand the difference between visas, permits, and how all of the documentation fits together. Now, one of the good things is that thankfully we have the internet today, so we can do a lot of our research online, and AI makes it possibly even easier to do the research doing it that way as opposed to using a search engine. But unfortunately, just like with any other page that you may visit online, sometimes the information is outdated or incorrect. So in those cases, you can visit embassy websites for whatever country you're considering moving to. You can email them, you can reach them through their contact pages, you can call them on the phone, and you can get specific answers to specific questions directly from the source. It's just one of those things where I use AI all the time for my own research, but I research topics that I already know quite a bit about, and so I know if the information is wrong or not. And if I don't, then I try to look at different sources. But I'm just throwing that out there for those of you who enjoy using AI. But let's say for a moment that we're leaving a place like Ventura, California, and we're heading to another location like, let's say, Costa Rica. So this combination just happened to pop up the other day. That's why I'm using it. You could be moving from any location to any location, and a lot of these principles work exactly the same. For those of you who aren't familiar with Ventura, California, it is a beautiful, scenic location by the ocean. Beautiful beaches, it has a lively culture, and some say it still retains more of that cozy, small town feel. I first became aware of Ventura way back in the 90s when they published what was considered at the time to be the ultimate desktop publishing software. It was called Ventura Publisher. And at the time, I was younger, I couldn't afford to buy the program, but that was my introduction to Ventura, California. And from there, I looked into a little more, and today, just so happens I'm making a podcast on the topic. I just wanted to throw that out there because Ventura is just one of those places that, for me, it's existed in my imagination for quite some time. And I think that's true when we're talking about some of the places that we're going to. Costa Rica is one of them. I have friends that have visited Costa Rica. They've talked about it. They've romanticized it, which oftentimes we do when we're going to move to a new location. We don't want to know what's not good about the location. We just want to focus on the good things because we're getting excited about the move, getting excited about starting a new chapter in life, and we just focus on the things that we want to focus on. And, I could say I understand that completely for good reason. Why focus on the cons, right? Might as well focus on the pros because you've already weighed both of them, hopefully, before you decide to make that kind of a move. But with SDC, every day is spent helping people get a new start to their lives in different countries. So SDC has a lot of experience, and they're committed to making sure that every move goes as smoothly as possible, whether you're leaving Ventura, California, or Newark, New Jersey, or somewhere in between. SDC is there to help make sure everything goes smoothly for you. So when we look at things like our destination, visa, and work permits, what's the difference? I know most people know the difference, but let me just talk you through it for those of you who are new to all of this. A visa and a work permit are different documents. A visa is a permit to enter a country for a specific purpose, such as tourism, study, and work. So most likely, if you're going to go to a location like Costa Rica, the first time that you're going to go there, you'll go there as a tourist because you don't want to commit to studying in another country if you're younger, or working in another country unless you've kind of gone there yourself and have weighed the pros and cons against what you want to do in your life, the advantages, the disadvantages, and all of that. So a visa to enter the country as a tourist is usually the first thing that people do before looking for a work permit. Unless, of course, maybe there are situations where you already work for a company and they're relocating you there and they're going to take care of this side of it. So a work permit, on the other hand, is a document that allows a foreigner to work in a specific country. In the case of Costa Rica, there's only one type of work permit which falls under the special category residency and work permits. So to obtain a work permit in Costa Rica, the process involves finding an employer, obtaining a provisional visa, and then applying for a work permit. So it's important to note that obtaining a work permit in Costa Rica can be challenging due to the high level of restrictions imposed by the government. So if you want to move to, let's say, Costa Rica, we're talking about that right now, you need to follow a specific process for obtaining a work permit. And of course, this will differ from country to country. If you want to move to England, it'll be different. If you want to move to Panama, it'll be different. If you want to move to Spain or France, but this is the basic step-by-step we're using Costa Rica today. So it typically starts by finding an employer who can assist you with the application process. Additionally, it's essential to understand that Costa Rican authorities prioritize their citizens for employment. So work permits are generally only granted for positions where there's a considerable shortage. Now, if you're not working, if you're not moving there to work, if you're moving there to, let's say, retire, then it's a different situation altogether. We're just focusing on permits right now because we're trying to help people understand the difference between what do I need, a visa? Do I need a work permit? Do I need both? So the process of obtaining a work permit in Costa Rica can be somewhat lengthy, and there's no guarantee that you'll be successful just because you applied and you did it correctly. Now, for a visa, U.S. nationals do not require an entry visa to Costa Rica, but they must have a valid passport and a return ticket to exit Costa Rica within 180 days. So that's a decent time if you're a tourist and you're really thinking about possibly relocating there one day. 180 days gives you enough time to really get a decent feel for what a specific area in Costa Rica is like, or several areas. For citizens of other countries outside of the U.S., the visa requirements may vary, so it's important to check with the specific requirements based on your nationality, where you're coming from. So to summarize that part, the process of obtaining a work visa in Costa Rica involves finding an employer, then obtaining a provisional visa, and then applying for a work permit. So there's 3 steps there. The specific requirements and the process may vary, again, based on your nationality and the type of work you intend to do in Costa Rica. Now, what about cases where you're self-employed? Maybe you have an online business or you're doing some type of consulting work, you're self-employed. How does that work? Well, if you're self-employed and you have an online business and you want to work from Costa Rica, you will have to look into it specifically for your use case, but you may still need a work permit depending on the specific regulations of the country for that industry. Most countries, including Costa Rica, if you're an individual and you want to work as a self-employed or a freelance professional, you are required to obtain a work permit or residency that allows you to conduct business within the country. I know several people who are in foreign countries right now who have online businesses, and basically what they told me is that a lot of the permitting process is involving things like making sure that you're not doing anything illegal, that you pay your fair share of taxes, and so on. And so just know that wherever it is that you're moving to, if you're working with us at SDC International Shipping, we understand that the research process can be complex and sometimes you get convoluted information. We're here to help you through the process. We'll make sure that you have all the necessary documents for your move. While we won't actually fill out the application for you, we are experts in this area. So the support and the information that you need will be readily available to you. And again, when it comes to research, we can also help direct you to the information and resources that you'll need to successfully navigate the visa and the work permit process. And we can also keep you updated on the requirements, how long it takes to process, and any extra documents you might need. And this way you'll be well prepared for this important part of your international move. Just know that when you're choosing SDC International Shipping, what you're essentially doing is choosing a partner, someone who knows all about the visas and work permits in this entire process, because it's something that's done day in and day out, week in and week out. So rest assured that you're in good hands. So when you're moving from a place like Ventura, California to another country, it's important to choose the right moving company. And of course, people realize that, but sometimes when they get involved in the actual process, they try and rush through or they don't get all the information. So whoever you choose for your move, there's things that you need to consider. You want to make sure that they have expertise specifically in moving overseas. At SDC, we have a lot of experience doing exactly that. Number two, you want to make sure that whoever you choose offers comprehensive services so that those services can be tailored for your specific needs. In other words, you don't want to buy more than you need just because they can't specifically tailor whatever it is that you need for you specifically. For example, a great example of this is if, let's say you're moving a 3-bedroom house and you have a few items that are expensive and fragile or old. You want to make sure that the company that you're working with has experience moving those kind of items. At SDC, we have experience even moving museums. So just know that if something needs to be made, a special type of crating created just for an object or several objects, that we're available here and capable of doing that. The next thing is you need to make sure you're getting a transparent and competitive quote. You need to make sure that the price quotes are very clear, itemized, everything is spelled out for you so that you know that what you're getting is what you're getting. Packing, I already talked about, the paperwork. The professionals at SDC will pack your belongings efficiently and make sure that, again, you have all the necessary paperwork in order. Also, there's the global network. Of course, you know that once you leave the United States, you want to make sure that that company has a supportive network in place at your destination country, a network that they work with regularly. You don't want a last-minute situation where nobody shows up or something happens and your items are unclaimed or just something weird happens. You don't want anything like that to happen. So when you're planning a move, you want to think in terms of door to door, meaning that everything leaves your house, your door, and goes to the destination and is set up there. Even if you want white glove service. Recently I met somebody and they were just moving here in the United States and he hurt his shoulder several years ago and he just said he wasn't comfortable lifting heavy items anymore, even though he's not an older person. And so he just decided to pay for white glove service. He wanted every box, everything moved, regardless of size, regardless of weight, from where he was moving to where he was going to. And that was just here in the United States. He paid for white glove service. Same thing with moving internationally. If you're older, or if you have some physical injuries and you don't want to be involved in lifting boxes, sometimes it's not even a heavy box, maybe you don't want to lift anything at all because of problems that you've had physically, then you want to make sure that the company you choose is available and there to offer the white glove services. Next thing you need to know is, does the company you're considering hiring for your international move, do they offer streamlined logistics? What does that mean? Well, in the context of an international move, it refers to the comprehensive management of all the logistical aspects of the move by the shipping company. This would include coordinating the various stages of the moving process, such as the packing, the initial transportation, customs clearance at the port, to ensure a smooth and efficient relocation for the client. And SDC International Shipping does this. They offer this. So that allows you to focus on your new location while all the complexities of the move itself are being handled for you. And this can also involve, on the other port side, the transportation options of land and sea or air freight, and making sure that everything is optimized, that you're going to get from point A to point B in the most efficient way possible without any delays. And so somebody might ask, well, what are the benefits of streamlined logistics? The benefits are, it just increases the efficiency overall. It will save you money. It will improve your overall experience. By streamlining processes, you can reduce any unnecessary costs associated with international shipping, such as paperwork and inefficient tracking systems. And this can lead to overall cost savings and improved accuracy in the shipping process. And also, streamlined logistics can ensure that the goods arrive on time, everything's in the correct condition, and this leads to customer loyalty and repeat business. So SDC International Shipping offers the streamlined logistics services, allowing you to focus on settling into your new location while the complexities of the move are being handled for you. Now, let me add one more thing here. If you haven't been to our website yet, you will definitely want to check it out. You can see everything that we have available at sdcinternationalshipping.com. We have our toll-free number there, which is 877-339-0267. And you can see that as soon as you get to our front page, we have a form that you can fill out and get a free quote from where you're moving from to where you're moving to. It's very easy to fill out. We have live chat available there. We have a moving tips blog that we update each and every week, so you can get the most updated information and some interesting facts about different countries from around the world. You can also find us on social media. We have a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, an Instagram channel. We are all over the place, and we definitely take our online presence seriously. We're there for you, so take advantage of everything that's here. We're also listed in the Better Business Bureau in Los Angeles, California. You can see our license number right at the top of our website. Again, that's SDCInternationalShipping.com. So if you have any questions, there's a variety of ways, like I said, you can reach out to us. Go ahead and do so. We look forward to hearing from you. And I think that's a wrap for today's podcast. So thanks for listening. Again, please feel free to share this podcast episode with friends, family, coworkers. We appreciate you doing so. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for listening. Whether you're relocating within the country or moving to the other side of the world, we're here to help from start to finish. Connect with us today at 888-779-3962. That's 888-779-3962.